Hi guys, Jim here again with another Sudoku video. Today we'll be taking on a Thermo Sudoku from the puzzle collection presented by the Cracking the Cryptic team. There are a couple of YouTubers who solve puzzles really well, and they've curated a different 7 different puzzle compilations, which you can check out on Steam or on your phone. Well worth it if you're into Sudoku at all. Definitely check these out. Really interesting variants, which was a new thing to me, but also the puzzles themselves are tough but logical and solvable. They're handcrafted with curated hints to help you if you get stuck. Definitely worth checking them out if this is your sort of thing. Anyway, so I will today be checking out a Thermo Sudoku. I'm checking out a new camera angle as well. So if you've come from an older video, apologies if this is a bit jarring. Let me know how terrible it is down below. And yeah, let's jump into it. So, Thermo Sudokus, if you have watched one of my earlier videos or you've come across it yourself, you'll already be aware of this. But Thermo Sudokus are a variant of regular Sudoku, which is to say it's a normal Sudoku puzzle with 1 through 9 being required in boxes, columns and rows. But also it adds these thermometers, which add a logical constraint, which is to say that digits must increase along a thermometer. So this could be a 2 because of this, 2, 3, 7, 9 or something like that. But it couldn't go 2, 5, 4, 3, right? It has to increase as you go. And it presents really interesting logic. It's definitely one of my favorite variants. But yeah, so go check them out. And check me out and watch me solve this puzzle. Fingers crossed. Right. So the first thing to note: so long thermometers are powerful, okay? Because if these have to increase, and it's got 7 digits on, if this can't be any higher than a 3, because if this was a 4, for instance, this would go 4. And then the lowest you could then go next would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you'd run out of digits. So this has to be at most a 3. It could be a 1 or a 2 as well. So that's at most a 3. And then the logic kind of like continues up. So that can be a 2, 3 or a 4. That can be a 3, 4 or 5. That can be a 4, 5 or a 6. 5, 6, 7. 6, 7, 8. And then 7, 8, 9. And so... yeah, so if you enjoy putting pencil marks into your puzzles, thermos are great because you can do it all over the place. Shorter thermos are not so useful because that could be as much as a 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that could be a 1, 2, a 3, or 5, 6, 7, 8. And so I'm not doing that. That's just daft, right? But this being a little 3er, if you like, I think that's fair enough. And in fact, look, yeah, so it's got nice logic with the rest of the puzzle because that's a 3 and a 4, which rules out 3 and 4 from that. So that must in fact be a 5. And because it's a 5, what that will do is it means that this can no longer be a 4 because it has to be greater than a 5 because it increases along the thermometer as you go up from the bottom. So that in fact forces this is 6, 7, 8 and 9, which is lovely. These two could still be any of the others. Now we have very similar logic down at the bottom, of course. So this can be, let's just do the same thing: 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, and then 7, 8, 9. And then let's have a look at the rest of the grid. What is that telling us? Yeah, we have a very similar logic here. That cannot be a 5 or a 6 because of the 5s and 6s in the column. So that must in fact be a 7, which forces 8 and 9 there. This can't be a 3 and this can't be a 2 because of the 2s and 3s up there. Is there anything else? So there can't be a 6 here because there's a 6 in the box. Well, that's interesting because that can no longer be a 5. Because if that's a 5, well, the next digit along has to be lower than a 7, but greater than a 5. So it would have to be a 6, and there's a 6 in the thing. So that cannot be a 6. So that cannot be a 5. And then you can do exactly the same logic back here. So if that can't be a 5, this can't be a 4, because then there's nothing else that could fit in the box. And suddenly that becomes a 2, not an 8, gosh. That becomes a 2, I should say, which then forces this to be a 1. So that was very nice. So there's still a bit of freedom for these two. So maybe let's just do some regular Sudoku logic now. So 6 in this box is forced into here. what I normally do is I normally start at 1 because I count up. And in fact, in that case, yes, so in this box, 1s are ruled out from all of there. So that must be a 1. There's a 1 in one of these two cells. These two, to complete the box, must be an 8 and a 5. Ah, and there's a 5 up there. So that sorts that out, and there you go. And so that sorts out the rest of the order here, because that then rules out this being a 5, so it must be a 4, and that 4, that must be a 3, because it's between a 2 and a 4. So that thermometer, or thermo, is done, which is good. 5s are trapped here in this box. 5s are trapped here in this box. I can do this. Yeah, what are we missing from this row? We're missing a 6. We're missing a 6. And 6s obviously act on this box in that way. So that's a 6, and that's a 5. And that sorts out this 5 up here as well, which is nice. That lets us pencil mark 5s into the box there. These two, in fact, yes, so 9 is forced in this box. Must be there. These two must contain a 9, and these two must contain a 9. So here's some interesting logic. You can only put a 9 on a thermometer if it's at the very end, because obviously if I put a 9 anywhere else, I then need to increase. What's bigger than a 9? Well, 10, but you're not allowed to put 10 in a Sudoku grid, so I can't do much with it, but I cannot put a 9 there. Which means one of these two is a 9. In fact, no, that is useful, because that then makes these a 9-5 pair. And so what I know is that whichever way round they are, both of those cells can only be either a 5 or a 9. So that rules out anything else from this column, these two cells, which means this is forced to be a 4, I want to say. Yes. So that's interesting. So we've finally got a digit on this thermo. So these digits must be increasing from 4, and this one must be less than 4. This can't be a 1 though, because of the 1 in the column, so that's actually only a 2 or a 3, so that's interesting. This can be... in fact, look, yeah, so in this box, what are we missing? We're missing 3 and 4, which can't go on this thermo, because they're both not greater than a 4. So the 3 and 4 are in there, and the 6 and 7, therefore, are missing in this box, must go there. And interestingly, we can do the order, because we know it must increase along the thermometer. So that must be the 6, and that must be the 7. Excuse me. That's not what I meant. There you go, 6 and 7 in that order there. So that's nice. So that thermo is almost done now. And then what else have we got going on here? We know that missing from this... Actually, we don't know very much about that. I'm going to leave that for now. Pencil mark 3s there. What else? What else? Okay, yeah. So we've got a virtual 4 in this column, so we don't know where it is, but it's in one of these two cells, which rules it out from the rest of this. Therefore, in this box down here, we've got 4s sort of here, 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 and here, which see this box in a very interesting way, and basically leaves us with a 4 down there, which gives us the 9. That gives us that 9 and that 5 in that order, which is nice. We know there must be a 5 in one of these, and it must be here. So that's interesting. So this cell must be bigger than a 5, but it cannot be a 6, an 8, or a 9, so therefore the only one left is a 7. These two are lower than a 5. It can't be a 3 or a 4. So in fact these are a 1, 2, and we know the order because they must increase along the thermometer. There you go. So, and then missing from this row is an 8. We're also missing a 7 from the box, which I can deduce from the 7 up top. And then a 3 to complete the box. A 8 to complete that box, and that leaves us with a 1, 2 pair in some order. This column is now only missing a 7? Yeah, I'm so bad. I can never tell which is the missing digit. 7 in this row. must now be in here, which gives us a 1. Ones can be pencil marked into one of 2 spots here. Oh, in fact, I'm telling a lie. A 1 must in fact go here. That can therefore be used to complete this column, which is missing a 9. This must be a 2 and a 3, and there's a 2 in the row. So this is a 3, that's the 2. I think that's our last Thermo clue, which is always nice to get. That gives us a resolution of the 4, 3 there. That's a 2, that's a 4. We are missing a 1 from that row. Gosh, it's literally the first number you should check. That's a 1, that's a 2. I think that's all our 1's done now, which is always lovely. What are we missing from this row? We're missing an 8 and a 3. So that's an 8 and a 3 in some order. In fact, I know the order because there's an 8 down there. Oh, didn't mean to do that. That's an 8. That's a 3. That's a 3, therefore I think it's the last 3 as well, which is lovely. That's a 9 by some pencil marking I did before. I'm missing 6 and 7. Ah, yes, and there's a 7 already in that column, so that's a 7 and a 6 in that order. What else are we missing? We're missing in here, we're missing a 4 and a 2. The 2 there sorts that out, so that then becomes a 4. That gives us our last 4 over in this box. This column is missing a 5. This column is missing an 8. This box is therefore missing a 2 and a 6, and there's a 2 in that row already, so that's lovely. 2, 6 sorted out. We need a 6 in this box, which must be here. That's therefore a 5. And finally, we have an 8. Woohoo! We did it! 10 minutes and 49 seconds. Yeah, like I said, I really like the Thermos. Mostly because you can just pencil mark loads of stuff at the start and then like remove them. And there's something quite satisfying about that to me. But anyway, nice quick puzzle today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Cheers.